You want an agenda? You want an agenda?
I'll read over your shoulder. Do you have an extra one?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll read over your shoulder.
That's for everybody, not just for
So 90-degree bend of the tree faces north. All
Monteagle Town Council, March 30th, 2026. It's 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll start with prayer. Dan, if you would.
Yes. Pray. Our Father, again this afternoon, we thank you for the opportunity that is ours to be here and to conduct business for the town of Monteagle. We thank you for each and every citizen in our community and the continued lives that we enjoy together in this community, and ask your blessing on our meeting tonight. Continue to give wisdom and guidance and direction in our efforts, and continue to watch over us. We thank you for the freedoms we have, and we just ask a blessing on our police department and their watch care over us through the care that they give, and the EMS people and the fire department, those that are constantly a big help to all of us in our lives. And we just want to commit our time to you now and ask your blessing in Jesus' worthy name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dave,
Present.
Grant,
Here.
Diane,
Here.
Nate,
Here.
Mayor.
Here. Okay. You have the minutes in your packets. I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes as submitted for February 2nd, 2026.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes with two minor revisions, please.
Okay. What are those revisions?
You want to accept the motion, or?
No, it's part of your motion, just
The one is on page 9. They voted unanimously to keep Mountain Market with the Chamber of Commerce. That should be reading, they voted unanimously to give access to Hannah Pickett Park for the Mountain Market. And then Nate, you had the second change.
On page 1, it said a citizen voiced a formal complaint, and then on the meeting minutes for this past month, we spent at least 20 minutes talking about what was and was a formal complaint. So I'd just like to strike the word formal. The citizen voiced a complaint.
all right. A motion has been made to accept the minutes with those two corrections. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Minutes for the 23rd.
Next packet of minutes that you received is for the meeting of February 23rd. I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
I'll make a motion to accept the February 23rd meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any additions or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is citizen comments. Now let me address this. Any citizen wish to be heard, now is the time, and there will be a 3-minute limit to your comments. So what we're trying to do is maintain some kind of governance and order in our meetings. So if there's any citizen that wishes to be heard, now's the time. Yes.
I'd just like to publicly thank Cripple Hookers for their donation to the senior citizen bingo. They gave us a $100 coverall. They gave a $250 tow package, and he offered any senior citizen a free ride to and from bingo.
Wow.
So I just wanted to
Cripple.
recognize
No, who was
that.
it?
Cripple Hookers.
Thank you. Is there a representative here from Cripple Hookers?
That's the way.
Oh, there you are. Thank you very much. Any other citizen comments wish to be heard at this time?
Yes, I'd just like to announce, my name is Daniel Carter. I will be running for county mayor of Marion County. Now, most of you may not live in Marion County, but those that do, over on Trussell Road, there's about 250 of you. I'd appreciate your support. My previous career, I used to work with an agency called the County Technical Assistance Service. So I spent almost a decade advising counties, and since then I've been teaching at the university. I teach policy, I teach land use policy, food and ag policy, and ready for a new chapter and put my name in the hat. I think there's 9 folks running. We got another candidate here. Got a lot of good candidates. Travis is a great guy. We're all getting to know each other, but I'd certainly appreciate your support. Some of you, the ones that do live in Marion County, you will receive a flyer coming up soon, but love to sit and chat. Anybody got anything they want to share with it? I do also want to mention the importance of municipalities in Marion County. Very unique county. We have 8 cities, of course, and I look at places like Monteagle that are very in remote parts of the county, and I sense that maybe Marion County or Monteagle folks might think that they don't get heard, right, because they're so far out. So
Yeah.
I just want you to know that I'm quite aware of that. I'm also aware of the importance of having mutual aid agreements with our police and fire departments that go often beyond the city limits. That's very important. And so anything I can do, in office to sort of facilitate better communication between emergency services, I think that benefits everybody. So anyway, I appreciate your consideration. I'm running as an independent, so I will not be in the primary, but you will see my name on the ballot in August. Again, my name is Daniel Carter. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Any other citizens wish to be heard at this time?
Yes, sir, I would.
Okay.
Mr. Grant, Miss David, before I start this off, has nothing to do with you guys. Dan, last month, you was ready to crucify an officer. You're a Christian man. You speak that out here. Judge not for thou shalt not be judged against. That's in the book you read. And you and Dean Lay was ready to crucify him at the cross for doing his job. Regardless if the arrest was a good arrest or a bad arrest, anything that follows after that arrest, you still got to obtain the law. He didn't deserve that, the way y'all treated him. At all. Rodney, if you was in the wrong, you was in the wrong. If you was in the right, you was in the right. But to crucify him right here, it ain't right.
That's what the city meetings are for.
That's right. You're exactly right.
I'm going to talk when you
Mayor,
Yes.
you don't like my business and I don't care. I care less. I hear it from y'all. Are y'all sure y'all want Crippled Hooker represent the city of Monteagle? I don't want to represent Monteagle. I represent my damn self. I don't need your business. Chief, I want my tow truck company pulled off your list. I will not pull from Monteagle anymore.
Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. The problem is the citizens up here ain't got no backbone anymore. They let y'all sit up here like a bunch of pygmies and control it. All of y'all need to get a good damn lesson in what you're doing. We got good officers up here. Some of the best in 20 years of Monteagle. I was born and raised right here. I was proud to serve my community. It makes me sick to get a call anymore from y'all. Pull my shit off your list.
Any other citizens wish to be heard at this time?
But y'all opened up the can of worms here tonight. I was trying to be quiet, and all y'all are looking at me. I disagree with what he says. We talked last meeting, the mayor, he wasn't here. Y'all got this lawsuit today for like $9 million. $9 million. I don't think I can spend no more money here on this project because y'all going to federal court for what y'all officers done. You know what I'm saying? You got two out there that's lied. The chief and Raylene and Caroline is lied. Y'all need to read this. It's online. Y'all need to read this. All the lies everybody's caught on here. Okay? Y'all should have put them off with pay when this come up. Now we got big problems. We're going to federal court. If you ain't never been to federal court, I promise you, you won't want to go back. I've been there for the highway patrol. And I don't care to meet you there because we're going to meet there. I've told you and told you and told you. And y'all, your lawyer said I was a joke and my lawyer was a joke. Y'all need to do some investigating on him, and look what he done to Marion County down there for throwing somebody out of the city meeting. Cost them $85,000. It's gonna cost this town millions. Read it. I promise you, if y'all don't do something with him tonight, y'all got major problems. Do something with both of them. They lied where they worked, they beat up 2 or 3 people. One of them's doing pictures in Franklin County, you know, sent all of them out, and y'all hardy. We get the rejects. We need to hire some good people here. They're dangerous. Do your background. Last time you said you'd check into it, yeah, you checked into it, you called me. Said, I want to check, I ain't heard no more from you. But you heard from me today, right? You heard from me today. This is serious. I begged him last week. Dan Sargent and Dean Lay tried to handle it last month when he was here. You got 2 more that didn't want to read it. But y'all can read it now. Y'all need to do something with them tonight.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other citizens wish to be heard? Okay. Let's move on to Mayor's comments, communications. A couple of things. First of all, just to continue what Mr. Kilgore was saying, we were served today with a lawsuit that is answerable in federal court. It has been referred to our insurance company, and based on advice of City Council, there'll be no discussion of it as it's an active lawsuit now. So it's, as they used to say, lawyer to lawyer. So that to resolve that, whatever the courts decide, the courts decide. The Planning Commission meeting meets April 7th. The Mayor and Alderman next meeting is April 27th. And the Easter egg hunt, hopefully you've seen the flyer, is April 4th here at Harkin Park.
Hannah Pickett.
Here at Hannah Pickett Park. Right? Yeah, Hannah Pickett Park. Saturday, April 4th, from 12 to 2. The egg hunt will start at 1 p.m. So if you haven't seen these, you need a flyer. They're on the desk at City Hall. So please plan to attend. There should be, it says bring a lunch or a dish to share. Music by the Swanee Conglomerate. Hi, Rochelle, do you have anything to add? We're all good. Thank you. And that's all I have for right now for my comments. Calendar events, I gave you. Police Department report, please.
Good afternoon, citizens of Monteagle. All right, the reports from February 15th to March 15th. We had 1 driving on road suspended. We had 2 domestic calls. We had 1 drug-related call, 2 trespass calls, 0 thefts. We had 35 traffic stops. We wrote 27 warnings, 8 citations, and the total number of calls went down from 416 the previous month to 382. and we had 6 crashes, which were down from 10 the previous month.
Okay.
For the community, the packet was too big for me to scan, or for Debbie to scan this month, so that's why I usually have it up. That's why I don't have it up today. I apologize for that.
Alderman, any questions on the police chief's report?
Nope. Thank you, Chief.
Okay. Thank you. Fire department?
Good evening.
Thank you.
79 total calls was ran from February 23rd. 51 of those calls were fire calls, 16 medical calls. The EMR program is going very well. Members have been working to provide aid to the citizens and do the initial vitals, render aid, etc., and assist the EMS once the ambulance arrives on scene. That's all been going super good, so I'm proud of everybody that's putting into that. The extrication tools and equipment that we were awarded through our 2025 VFEE grant has been, well, they haven't. They were supposed to be there today. They're probably with the ladder court. But anyway, they were supposed to come today. They're on their way, and all those tools are going to service. It's all an AMCUS set. It's going to replace the 20-year-old or roughly 20-year-old set that was existing before the hydraulic tools. So we're looking pretty forward to that. Those will go on the frontline engine for rescue, and then the current set will go on to another truck so we can gain some ISO points off it for forcible entry tools. So they'll stay in service. There's nothing wrong with the old set. It's just kind of upgrade. Members are still training. They're doing their monthly 2 training sessions a month for fire. EMR and EMS train separately to do EMS skill sets for their continued education to meet their monthly requirements. I think some of the guys were out. I didn't have this in the report. I forgot it, but I think some of the guys were out over the weekend finishing cliff tops up for hydrants, doing some more hydrant paint and stuff with nicer weather, so the guys will be out doing that. Everything's going good, I guess, for the fire department. Ladder truck, it's done. It was awaiting a ladder test. I've not heard back from the ladder test. The guy told me that Adam Johnson, not the guy. The guy told me that would take about 2 weeks. So that's roughly 2 weeks ago.
Alderman, any questions on the fire department reports? Okay.
On the EMS side,
Yes.
have you seen a upswing and people calling as far as the citizens asking for assist for falling and certain things? Kind of break down what you're doing.
So today we ran forward today for EMS stuff. So it's I'm just glad to be able to give back to the community and provide for the citizens. And you know, Don does great with Grundy EMS. Those men and women work vigorously to provide to us, but it's just kind of put somebody there with them until the ambulance gets there. And I think it's a good justifiable timepiece for myself and AJ to be around town during the daytime. The nighttime calls, AJ is usually pretty quick to respond. I think there's 8 of us with the EMS train that's responding, but not being staffed at the fire station. They still, within probably 4 to 6 minutes, they've got somebody on scene around Monteagle City with what's going on. So that's awesome.
That's great. That's great.
Any other comments? Let me again compliment you and your crew
Thank you.
for the responses. I know you have lift assists. I know you've had breathing issues and all sorts of types of various complaints, not just 1 or 2. So between that and firefighting, thank you very much on behalf of the town.
Thank you all for your support. And brush fire, we was in Cooley's this weekend for a brush fire. It was an accidental brush fire. A gal had dumped her firebox out of her fireplace and got the woods on fire. About a 2-acre fire in hardwoods. Wasn't nothing big to it, but it could have been. So just right now, I know it's kind of a dry spell. Check your burning permits, and for your county, whether you're Marion or Grundy, Franklin, whichever end you're on a town. We follow the state's burn laws for the state of Tennessee, Division of Forestry. BurnSafeTN.org is their website. I don't know their local number anymore. They've changed all that to a toll-free number, but if I can help you with anything, give me a call or call City Hall and they'll get you in touch with me and we'll see if we can get you a burn permit.
Thank you. Can you go with building and code?
Yep, codes enforcement. AJ is actually working EMS today, so I'm going to give AJ's report. There's one commercial property that's been verbally warned about a sign issue. They've corrected that violation to match our sign ordinance. There's one residential service on a property maintenance issue that's also been attached on the building side for a temporary condemnation on a dilapidated property. That has some yard issues too with multiple tires in the yard and stuff like that. We're working on that. 2 residential properties have been assessed a fine through municipal court for property maintenance violations. Both fines totaled $4,050 for each offender for each address. So Judge Raines just issued that. I think one of those properties is working to file an appeal, if not both. So we're working with the property owners on that to see if we can maybe help them with an appeal. I mean, part of this stuff, in my opinion, is not only citing them for a codes enforcement issue, but it's also education of why they were cited and what can we do to help them. That's part of my job, is helping them make sure that we're maintaining our ordinances. So I think education goes a long way for these people. That's the codes report. Anything on that?
Any questions from the alderman on that?
I'm not familiar with the temporary condemnation. Can you tell me how they go about fixing that?
So a temporary condemnation is something that I see as against, kind of life safety issue right now. It has maybe it's unfit, unsafe. That's following municipal code. We have that in our property maintenance code. We also have it in TCA. It's listed and it falls under the International Property Maintenance Code. The structure that's in question right now had animal feces all throughout the house. It was very dilapidated. And it's actually a vacant home, so the temporary condemnation of that also pulls the utilities from that address and everything. So the city will be served the same paperwork the property owner served for the water, and it'll also go to the power company, and that removes the power from it just to prevent anything further from happening. The animals would shoot some of the wiring and stuff of that nature. So that makes us at least safe for the condemnation process, and the full condemnation process goes into you guys as the Board of Hearings, or the hearing officers, officials, if you will, for the city ordinance. That goes through the full condemnation. That's kind of where we're at with the Mountain Inn case now. They're issued a city hearing date, so everyone that served that is issued a hearing date. They get to come before you guys and plead their side of it.
But for this residential structure, if they clean up the house and address your issues, you can undo that, and it can become habitable.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just didn't.
Any other questions
Know
from
what
the
that
alderman?
process was.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So the building report. 4 residential permits were issued, 12 inspections has been completed, 3 temporary certs of occupancy have been issued, and 1 permanent CO has been issued. The residential temporary condemnation was issued for dilapidated structure involving animals at large. The case is ongoing. This has also got a public hearing date set for April the 16th of 26 at 11 a.m. Central Time. That'll be here in City Hall. They'll still come before you guys, even the temporary condemnation, and give them time to plead their case. What happened? Why is it this way? And what are you going to do to resolve it and remediate it? At that time, we'll make determination whether we're going to continue on for a full condemnation, or if the best suited process would be to get rid of the structure, move it, and get rid of it. That'll come before you guys as the hearing board. The Mountain Inn case, same situation. The Mountain Inn case has also been posted. I've publicly posted the property. I've labeled it unfit, unsafe. It was previously labeled that. If you remember, in December 23rd of 24, I temporarily condemned that under unsafe and unfit. Those signs has been removed. I've posted it again. They now have an official hearing date set for April the 16th of 26 at 10 a.m. They've been served the paperwork to attend the hearing if they would like. They've also been advised how to file an appeal on the case, and hearing date stands on that. So once we get to the hearing date of that, we'll make further determination after the hearing.
Any questions on this report from the alderman?
I assume that 11 o'clock, April 16th, public hearing for the residential thing is one of the 2 that you have listed above in the residential?
That's right.
One and the same?
We've got a 10 o'clock for Mountain Inn and 11 o'clock for Parks Lane or Parks Road.
All right.
And the one at 11 o'clock is going to be concerning the one with the temporary condemnation, also in the...
Yes, the residential.
I had spoke with one of the individuals involved in that, and they were asking a question about the temporary condemnation. They were asking if it was condemned and totally needed to be demolished, would they have the opportunity to do it themselves to our suiting?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
A lot of this stuff, I mean, the gentleman, I'm not going to list any names, but the gentleman probably spoke to you, he's been in conversation with me
Yep.
almost every day. He's working himself, to death, to try to get rid of the dogs and put them somewhere humanely and do what's right with that. That's another fine issue
Yes.
in Grundy County, is there's just nowhere to put these animals. If animals are running at large, what do we do with them? So
Yeah.
I understand their side.
Yes,
And
yes.
as long as they're making good faith effort, I just feel that, fair and equality is to accommodate them. I mean, we need to accommodate them. So,
Thank you,
anyway, yes.
Thank you. Parks and Rec, Nate?
So I was going to give an update on these trees that are out behind City Hall. So I think I've spoken about this a little bit before. Monteagle applied for and received a grant from the Tennessee Division of Forestry, and that's what all these trees are going to be planted this week in Hannah Pickett Park. There was one that a windstorm got that we had to remove that went out today, and so look for that planting later on this week, just as a way to try to provide the next generation of shade for the park for its users.
Okay, and then Greenwood?
Oh, yeah, and so I think Martha Ann probably ought to talk about the
Okay.
greenway under beautification. That's sort of
That's
her
fine.
her deal.
Any questions of the Alderman on page report?
On the tree that was removed, was there a cost estimate on that?
It was removed for free. It was a donation from the company.
Good job, we appreciate it.
Okay, utility manager? John, anything?
No, I don't have this.
Any Alderman have any questions for John?
No, I guess I probably do need to clarify a little bit on that. So the tree service in question, High Canopy, is planting all those trees at no cost, and they remove that tree at no cost. They did ask for access to be able to dump brush with no stumps at our location, at our dump location, and I felt like that was not good business for us to do that in an open-ended fashion. But in consultation with the mayor, I did allow them no more than 10 loads a week through the end of the calendar year, and they are in the process of getting me a dollar value on that. So I say that because I want to make sure we're transparent with what's happening, and also there may be other groups that want to do something like that. And in my conversations with
David?
Butner, with Keith, we don't know what burden this is going to place on our workers, and so we're going to be tracking that and seeing if it's a burden. If this is a doable burden, it might be an income source, because I understand that there are other tree services that might want to do this.
But our current policy was that commercial.
That no commercial. And that's the reason I feel like I ought to bring it up, because I wasn't trying to be disingenuous. He's not charging us any money, but there is this service, so that'll be through the end of the calendar year, and we just want to see. Butner's going to tell us whether it's a burden. Apparently they're keeping that fire going every day, any day, and what I don't want to do is overrun them and cause us staffing issues. But if it's something that's manageable at some scale, it may be a way for us to offset some of our trash costs going forward. So.
Any questions on the utility manager?
On our, notices of violation from TDEC, or
Do what now?
any new notices of violation from TDEC, or we,
Everything's good.
okay, thank you.
All right, street department has nothing. Planning commission, I announced the dates. They're looking at different ordinances and things to present to the mayor and alderman when the time comes, and it's gone through that process. Beautification and tree board.
Several months ago, the council approved $8,500 for landscaping in the greenway and $3,500 for landscaping around town buildings. What we need to do, I understand, is for you to approve what is planned, and it should be in your packet. You've got one, the label is invoice for town of Monteagle, and the other is landscaping around Monteagle buildings. I think were all of you notified about the flags in the Greenway? Okay. Dan Pate is working with us on the Greenway. That's the $8,500. And what he is recommending is putting evergreens, small evergreen trees and shrubs. He says the evergreens will help having green year-round, because right now we've got empty trees, and having some evergreens throughout the Greenway will warm that area up. He says it'll give it a softer look, rather than putting the concrete planters in that we originally planned on. He says this will make it easier for the staff in mowing the grass, and it will look cleaner and be easier to take care of, less watering and that kind of thing. For those pedestrians who use it, it will give more coverage year-round. I'm saying later additions could include perennial flowering and pollinator. We're not looking right now at putting in flowers, maybe some flowering shrubs that are green year-round, but no annual flowers. Okay, that's his rationale, and you have the list of the items that he is including. Nate looked at it, being a forester, and he said that the trees that are recommended are shorter trees, smaller trees. Is that right?
Yeah, and so just to get some context for the council, I think it was 2 workshops ago, we talked about the idea that it's great we have a beautification committee, but how do they interface with the council and make recommendations to us? And so if I'm right, Martha, and this was one of 3 proposals that the beautification committee looked at, and this is your recommendation to us.
Yes.
And it certainly seems to make sense to me. I think some of the other ones, there were some maintenance concerns about some of the more perennial installations.
Yeah, the concrete squares would be hard to mow around and keep watered and that kind of thing, so.
And we should also talk about John Street too at the same time, or should we do that separately?
We have been offered a American holly to be the town's official Christmas tree. That we would decorate along with the tree trail and brighten up the park. So, and we're looking at a place in the Greenway across from Harton Park.
And we had talked about this, so the committee's recommendation is that would be the permanent location. They've decided that that's where it'll go. And it's just Dan, with his list of stuff, would just work around that as a space he would not have to fill.
Okay, so you have a motion?
I was told I couldn't.
Yeah, no, well, I'll make a motion that we accept the beautification committee's suggestion for Dan Pate's list, which does come in at budget from what we had approved several months ago. So I make a motion that we accept their recommendation and go ahead and get
Is there
the
a second
money.
to that motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay, the second part was $3,500 for landscaping around the town buildings, which means the police station, the fire station, town hall, and the library and community center. $3,500 is not enough to do all of that. So what we are looking at as phase one is the police station, putting mulch and some soil, putting a hydrangea or mountain laurel out in front, Lenten roses, you know, trying to pretty up the area around the police station. Chief's, is he going to be gone? I have not had a chance to go and talk with him to see if this is okay.
He's right here now.
So, hey, we're talking about putting him in the police station.
Yes.
Okay.
You get ready, let us know and we'll help.
Oh.
That's one problem solved.
Well, we've got the tiller and everything, we gotta till all that up and we've gotta pull up all that other stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, when you get ready, let me know.
I love this guy.
So,
Well, we have some ideas and we'll go over it
Yes, ma'am.
before we buy any plants.
Yes, ma'am.
And then around town hall, we're talking about putting a couple of new hollies out here to go with the one that is there. And then back here, we can't grow anything back here. The water comes off the roof right in the middle, so it won't let anything grow out there. So what we're planning is pull all the dirt out and put a cover down so that the weeds don't come up, put rocks, continue the rocks around, and then put 2 benches out here. If we could get some cheap, big boulders, it'd be nice to have some boulders that stay more out there too. So those are the 2 areas. We would really like to just do mulch out in front of the fence facing 41, but it's a huge space. And the mulch by itself is several $1,000s. So we can't do that. And Grant is working on a grant for the community center and the library, correct? So we didn't plan on anything there. And Fire Chief, it's not back there. We've got to do some major changes of those planters in front of the fire hall. Because I don't know whether everybody knows, but when it rains, the water goes under the wall and into the offices. So we've got to fix that before we do anything there. But we hope they're going to be getting a mural real soon.
Any questions of Martha Ann on her report?
Martha Ann, do you need painted mulch or would just regular wood chip mulch be fine?
Out there?
Yeah.
Wood chip mulch would be fine, because we're not planning on planting anything at this point.
Okay, we have plenty, I can help you with wood chip mulch.
Love it.
So we just need to figure out how to get it there.
I do need help with digging out here. If anybody is willing to get a shovel and help us do that, sure could use some volunteers.
You know, for those that have been attending these meetings on a regular basis, I think it's safe to say Martha Ann and her committee have done a tremendous amount of work. But now we're getting to the point beyond planning. We need some volunteers that can handle a shovel, pick up some stuff, move some stuff around. So we're looking for volunteers to continue the project. So anything you can do, please contact Martha Ann. We'd appreciate it.
Can we not dedicate some hours from our street department employees?
This is a bad time with all that they've got to do, mowing and...
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they done 2 hours one day or something, schedule their time, that's as, I mean, it seems that's as important as mowing.
Well, we'll look at their schedule and see what we can do, Dean. Anything else, Martha?
So it'd be $3,500.
But you said that's not enough, didn't you?
Well,
But for what we're planning.
It is.
so,
Right now.
so the 3,500 would cover the police department, what she had mentioned, the police department, and the gravel along the back and one planting here.
Okay, and that's coming out of the budget that we had for,
Yeah, the 3,500.
Yeah, we approved that a couple months ago, but we would need to make sure, I mean, we've allocated the 8,500 tonight for your job because we have the quote out of it. We'll just need to reallocate the 3,500 when you're ready. When we get the rock, and when we know we can get the rock. And
Well, I've priced them all, we've got the prices.
We do? I didn't see the
Yeah, I
second
didn't
part
see
in the
that
packet.
either.
I'm not sure what that second part got in the packet. I saw it.
You didn't get this?
We did not get anything for the police department or the, no, we did not get
I have 3 copies.
Maybe we can just pass it around.
Yeah, we can, if it's ready to be approved, we can approve that tonight. Or vote on it.
I have one from the meeting.
And just tell me how many tons of that wood chips you want. We're
Yeah, just pass it, look at this.
drowning in it commercial.
Huh?
Just a matter of getting it hauled.
Somebody's hauling. They only need a couple tons, I'm just hauling for.
So everything is covered except the mulch out in the front, correct?
Right.
I make a motion then that we approve their recommendation for this landscaping at 3478, which is below the 3,500. That was previously approved.
All right, is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, the motion carries.
And the last part of the report is from the tree board. Lucy, yes. Okay. Let's just do it.
Okay, let's do it then. Okay, so we have the nominations for the members of the Monteagle Tree Advisory Council that we'd like to present. Can we say those out loud? So within the city limits, Lucy Keeble, Martha Ann Pilcher, Nate Wilson, and Doreen Parmley. Out of the city limits, Kent Ballou, Scott Pilkington, Karen Coors, David O'Neill, who's with High Canopy. And by class years, 26 to 27, Lucy Keeble, Martha Ann Pilcher, Karen Coors. 26 to 28, Nate Wilson, Doreen Parmley, Scott Pilkington, Kent Ballou. And in 26, well, we've got the mayor and the forester, High Canopy as well. And we had a great Arbor Day, I thought. We had a good turnout. There were a whole class of math students from the 7th grade, Miss Becca's class, and High Canopy donated their time to get the tree in the ground, which was awesome. And the girls in the 7th grade and the boys in the 7th grade grabbed shovels and helped get it done. So it was a really nice day.
Yeah, they're an official committee, so her list is
Something to vote on.
A vote, yes.
Okay, can I see the list real quick?
Lucy, I trust all these people have said yes to serve.
No, I haven't asked them yet. I'm hoping. No. Everybody's good. Everybody's good to go.
city-owned property.
Yeah, city-owned property.
Yeah, well, the tree board is just an advisory.
Right, but I mean, it's dealing with city
Yes.
property only.
And,
Well, this is separate from the ordinance. It's not related to the ordinance.
oh, it's not related to the ordinance?
No, so the ordinance related to tree care on city-owned property. The tree advisory board advises on that tree ordinance, but they also advise us broadly, like the beautification committee, on what we think we should do on city-owned property.
Okay, so when this, by class years, 26 to 27, so these are one-year terms that are staggered now?
Yeah, I asked him to do that because I think, since this is our first official committee, citizen committee outside of the council, I think it's important that as the council changes, we have the opportunity to influence the board over time, and by setting people's terms, then we will have the opportunity next year to either reaffirm them or to decide we want some new people on it.
So these are 2-year terms, except for this first,
Except for the first
except for
year.
the first 3 people. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the nominations for the Monteagle Tree Advisory Council.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, Imagine Monteagle, Brian?
Yes.
I know, yeah, that's
Just to let everybody know that we applied for and did receive a TN 250 grant for $25,000 for the mural on the side of the fire hall. Keith Killebrew will be doing the design. I've already talked to him. He's getting started on it. He believes that we could probably have the mural completed by the end of the summer, which would be great. So it is going on the west side of the fire hall. There'll be some other landscaping going on that Nate's been working on over there as well, so it should pretty up that whole area there. And I am obligated to say, out of the Tennessee 250, that this project is funded under an agreement with the state of Tennessee, administered by the Tennessee Commission for the United States Semquencentennial. Done. So we did get the 250 grant, and we've got the design of the mural already underway, and he's got a lot of other artists that are kind of contributing to this, and also it'll be a little bit of a community effort for that. And like I said, hopefully it's done by the end of the summer. We'll try to hold him to that. A couple other events for Imagine Monteagle coming up. The mayor mentioned the egg hunt and the community picnic on April 4th. As we mentioned last month too, the month of July, starting with the July 4th, we plan on doing music in the park over here at Hannah Pickett Park for the month of July, except for the last Saturday. Are these Saturdays?
Yes.
Last Saturday in July, the 25th, the music in the park will be at Harton Park, because the Mountain Goat Market will, or the Monteagle Mountain Market will be happening here at Hannah Pickett Park that weekend. October 3rd is the pedal party, which was our poker run from last year, which was a lot of fun, and hopefully we can get some momentum with that year after year. November 28th, the Christmas tree lighting and the carols in the park. And then throughout December, on different dates, we'll have carols in the park as well at Harton Park. And then obviously the Christmas tree trail will be going on in December. Wanted to also, a couple of grants that we've applied for. I mentioned the TN 250 that we've already won. We have also applied for a grant for the kiosk that I explained last month. That's going to be either in Hannah Pickett Park or in this empty triangle out here. Stone patio, that's going to be kind of an information center along the Mountain Goat Trail, along with signs to show trails, hiking opportunities, biking opportunities, local businesses, restaurants, and other historical information for the surrounding area. We've applied for a grant for that. We should be hearing, I believe in April, late April, mid-April, we should be hearing about, it's a pre-application that we submitted, so we should be hearing if we're allowed to submit a full application. We've also submitted an application for a Lowe's grant. This is for the upgrade to the library and community center, where we are putting a kind of a portico type of front to it to give it a little bit of curb appeal and to give a place, a dry space for people to go in and out of the building. And it would also correct the entranceway to the community center, which is a little jacked up right now. So we applied for that grant. We should hear something maybe around July. We've also submitted a grant for T-Mobile, or to T-Mobile for the Hannah Pickett Park and Community Center, or excuse me, the Hannah Pickett Park Pavilion, where we would do some upgrades to the pavilion, everything from paint, lighting, bathroom, fixing the bathrooms, and putting potentially a Wi-Fi system out there that would serve the entire park. It would be open Wi-Fi for anybody using the park. We also have applied for a South Cumberland Community Fund grant in the amount of $10,000. This is kind of earnest money for the sculpture and welcome sign that is in design right now. Their $10,000 would be coupled with another grant to pay the full price for the sculpture and the welcome sign, which would be, again, out in this triangle here, but very much closer to the road as a welcome to Monteagle, kind of a signature, not only the sign, but a nice sculpture to go with it. And we hope to get the rest of the funding for that particular sculpture and sign from another group that we've already talked to. They are interested, but we won't know anything from them until August. So those are the grants that we've applied for. We should be hearing in the next 2 months whether we have been awarded some of those grants. I will tell everybody that the statue and the welcome sign, or the sculpture and the welcome sign will be, we should have a rendering middle of May from the artist on that, so we'll be passing that along to the community for any kind of inputs and stuff, and the council and the beautification committee will obviously be commenting as well. Really excited to get that. Like I said, this is a nationally known artist that we're working with on this, and really excited to see what that's gonna look like. That will also give us our budget for the sculpture, which allows us to go after the funding that we're looking at with the 2 grant opportunities. Also, there is one more thing. The beautification committee has organized, thanks to a resident out of Cooley's Rift who gave us a little bit of a push to do this. They are doing a Put Litter in Its Place event. It's basically going to be a pickup on Saturday, May 2nd, from 9 to 11 in the morning. You would show up and register at Harton Park, and you would be assigned a particular road in the community to pick up litter along some of the smaller roads. Main highways are kind of taken care of for the most part, but we'll look at some of the smaller roads. So that's going to happen May 2nd, 9 to 11, and then again Saturday, October 17th. But we'd like to make that kind of a regular thing too, and get a little more community involvement. Hopefully we can get some middle, teenage, or younger kids to participate with their families as well, and set a good precedent. I will say, when I read off the schedule of events coming up, one of the things that we're running into in the Beautification and Tourism Committee, the same 5 or 6 community members they just keep volunteering and keep volunteering and keep volunteering, and they are stuffed. We really need to get the word out for the good crowd here tonight, so thank you for that, but people at home that are watching and all, we really need to get the word out to our neighbors and everything. We need volunteers to help organize some of these events, to be the coordinators for some of these events, and in some cases need some physical labor with some of these events. And we really need to put a call out to the community. We need more volunteers for this, instead of the same 6 or 7 that keep volunteering. So please put the word out, and if you're interested, these schedules and events and stuff will be listed should be listed on the web page, as well as the town's web page. But you can always call the town to get in touch with myself, and I can push you towards the 2 committee chairs that need some help. But sooner rather than later, we need some help with some organization and coordination on some of these events. So I really, really appreciate that.
Grant, there is an email on the website under Imagine Monteagle where you can email your interest and what you're interested in doing.
Okay, and I think my phone number and email is on the website as well, so you feel free to reach out to me if you can't find the other thing, but volunteers are needed, please. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Grant, if you don't mind, we'll double check that website as soon as possible to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, Alderman reports. Gene?
I've got a couple things under that, and then I've got some stuff under old business and then under the new business. On the Alderman's report, the Veterans Park, we've got a proposal, Martha Ann, from an individual that would do a basic design, and that's the only one we have.
Right.
And that was in the amount of
$1,300?
And do you have a recommendation for us on?
Since that's the only person, it's up to y'all.
And you recently said you had found some pictures and had been on the trip.
Oh, I've got
and saw-
pictures of
Yeah, and you've been on the
possibilities.
trip and saw another one that you thought might be something fitting for us to do here, but every person I've talked to, the first thing they say is we need the elevations, we need to define the area, which we basically have, but we need the elevations on that, and then we need I guess just a startup drawing.
Which is what this guy would do.
Yeah, and then that can be tweaked, and then if it's approved, then there would be specific drawings to build by, correct?
Well,
Not in that amount.
the contractor would use the drawing to figure out costs,
Yeah.
well, I guess, do y'all do requests for proposals?
Well, that's one of the things.
Depends on the
we talked
price.
about, Yeah.
But that's when the people would say, it's gonna cost us this much to raise the level, it's gonna cost us this much to put the patio in and put the flags up, and
Just a total project, breakdown of the project cost.
Right.
Have we decided, maybe this may be a question for John Congress. John, have we decided what we're gonna do with the septic field out there?
I ain't decided. We decided.
How easy, where's the closest tap into the sewer?
Right out that window.
On Overton, isn't it Overton Street?
So, yeah,
into
we'd
the
have to go
sewer?
all the way across the park, right?
Yes. I think if you don't mind to get elevations and to get a few prices and everything, we can work on that now and address it at the April meeting. There just seems to be a lot of open questions.
It's the same questions, isn't it?
John,
Well,
is
but we have to get
there any
someone to do
access to
that.
41? We tap in at 41, is there a line on 41?
Comes across.
It crosses 41,
Across
but it's all down to the
41.
post office.
Okay.
So if we decided to tap into Overton, we would have to put a pump in the septic tank.
Yes.
Just to enforce it.
But we have an option of looking at adding fill line and run it on the other side of the tank.
Oh, to run it this way.
Yeah, instead of on the south side, it's a possibility.
Do you know how many feet are out there by any chance?
No, I don't.
How long ago was that put in? 1800s?
83 or 4, wasn't it?
I think so. Been longer.
They used to require a 1,000-gallon tank and around 200, 250 feet.
Well,
fill line.
they would do it by bathroom.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy
Well,
King.
rather than try to do some engineering now, if we could do this work and come back in April, I think that would be the most efficient way of handling it. There are too many questions and open items that I'm not sure we can resolve sitting at our table, so.
Martha, are you ready to, is your person ready to be turned on for the design?
And he said he would come up here and look at it. He needs a survey of the property. Like the septic tank, where is it, and,
I'm trying to think if we can approve the $1,300 for him to get going on the design.
Yeah, I think there's no reason not to do it.
Well, no, that's right, but who is this person? I'm not familiar with this.
Thomas, I didn't know we were gonna be talking about this tonight. I did not bring that
She's got the
information.
email, and I've got a
He
copy
was-
of it, and we can,
He was recommended by Dan Pate, and he is from Chattanooga, and said he would come up here and spend a couple of hours, but he really needs a survey of the property.
Is this $1,300 firm?
Yes.
Is there a motion then?
yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve a $1,300 expenditure for the people to come out of Chattanooga and do, I guess it would be a conceptual drawing for us to look at on.
Yeah, and recommendations, some written
And there would
information.
be, yes, recommendations on improvements that would be made to the site to accommodate the Veterans Memorial Park.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second. Go ahead.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Martha, if you could get with me, I'd appreciate setting up that.
Sure.
Another thing, at a recent workshop, the council had discussed about the community center needs, that we need to look at it and see improvements to the building as far as space, existing space improvements, if it needs some updates on flooring, furniture, lighting. I think Nate had talked about a company that would work with us on the lighting, and just do an assessment of that facility and look at the possibility of removing the wall between the back room and the front room to see if that's a possibility of enlarging that facility to accommodate larger groups. And so we're gonna, our next workshop, I think we're planning on advertising that we would actually hold the workshop at the community center as opposed to here at City Hall.
Yes.
So I would encourage everyone that's interested in the community center and library to if you want to visit it or come to the workshop. It's public. Workshops are public. We can't vote on anything. We can discuss it, gather information, and then if we do that before the April meeting, then we could take any action that the council wants to take at the city meeting in April. But I think this is probably going to be a longer thing than just talk about it and then at April vote on something. I think there's a lot of work to be done to get an assessment of the needs and then like the Veterans Park thing, get cost estimates and look at what we want and then what we can afford and then go from there.
So we'll set up a schedule of workshops, and one of them will be at the community center to accomplish that. Did you have anything else for Alderman report?
Yes. At one of our workshops recently, we talked about an incident about theft of property at the community center, and we had a discussion on it at the workshop, but we could not take any action on it. And Mayor, I think you said you were going to check in on that.
I haven't had a chance to do that as yet. I don't know of anything that was stolen. There was a lot that was thrown out, but I can double check that. I have not had a chance to do that.
It was the cooler incident that we discussed.
Oh, the cooler incident? That seemed to have been, for lack of a better phrase, mistaken identity. It was returned to the people and everything seemed to have been resolved. That's about.
Well, the resolution on it was the lady that owned the cooler was driving through the neighborhood and saw her cooler sitting at a residence. And this is what she has relayed to me. And I relayed at the workshop. And she got out and went over and looked at the cooler and raised the lid up, and it had her name on it.
Right.
And she retrieved it, and that's how it was resolved. Which it wasn't by mutual agreement.
My understanding was there was a mistake and it was returned. I don't know the wheres and wherefores, but okay.
There's no doubt it was a mistake.
I'm glad you got her cooler.
Yeah.
What else is there?
That's all I've got on the audit report. I've got other things under the old business and new business.
Grant, anything?
Yeah, I'm going to follow up on that. We had talked about looking into this, so there may be some disciplinary action with the employee that started the incident. and I don't want that to fall through the cracks.
Okay, we'll follow that up then at a workshop.
So the other thing final thing I wanted to bring up was the community center. Dean already explained that we want to take a look and see what can be done, what everybody's ideas are, community input as well as the council, and find out what we can do and can move forward, hopefully to get some grant money for the community center. A big thank you to Doreen and Jessica for the bingo night stuff. They had a great bingo turnout last week or whatever, last month. And I happened to go over there, and it was jam-packed. They didn't have enough chairs. They didn't have enough tables. There was young people, old people, middle-aged people. It was a really, really great turnout. And I know this is sounds a little silly that we're talking about bingo at a city council meeting, but this was a great community event, one of a lot of things, and they deserve a little bit of recognition, but we also deserve to give them what they are going to need in the future over at that place, which is why we're going to be looking at the space itself. But in the meantime, we've been presented with a couple of quotes for additional chairs and tables so that they can actually seat everybody that is showing up.
Great, that's under new business. We'll be taking that up.
Okay.
So
I would like to defer my speech until new business comes around in another thing.
Without objection. Anything else?
No, nothing else.
Dan?
I have nothing.
Nate?
Yeah, the only just clarification to what I said. Two of those trees actually over there are going to go to the fire hall, which, as y'all can see, there's been a lot of activity over there. So we'll be seeding and sodding and putting up some trees in anticipation of this mural. Hopefully creating a spot where the firefighters can have a picnic table there and hang out while they're waiting on calls. So I misspoke when I said all those trees were going there.
Anything else? Thank you. Okay, under old business, I'll accept a motion to approve on second reading ordinance 01-26, zoning ordinance adding exceptions to 1002A.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll accept the motion for approval of the second reading of ordinance 02-26, which is a zoning change from R2 to R3.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that motion?
Yes, sir. I would ask that the minutes show that I have a vested interest in that property, and if could or would be a conflict of interest if I voted obviously in favor of it. So I would like for the record to show that I will abstain from that vote.
He will recuse himself from abstaining due to conflict of interest. Any other comments on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Police Department, we've already answered that because it's a lawsuit pending now, so we'll see how the courts decide. Business
No,
permit?
I object to that.
What do you object to now?
At the last monthly meeting, we were talking about a couple of things in the police department. One of them was the complaint process. And the chief has presented us with I don't know, about a 3-page report, 4 actually, and they're on the counter inside City Hall. But some of the discussion was that whether or not it was pertinent for the police department to investigate themselves. And the chief's out there. I think he can come forward and restate what you had said last month about the process on the complaint.
Right. So if it's about me, if there's a complaint about the chief, then we would most certainly handle it over to, if it's a resident from, let's say, the Marion County side, they would have a Marion County investigator investigate it. If they found any substance behind it, then most likely it would be turned over to Tennessee Bureau of Investigations when it comes to me. If it's another officer, then obviously, I would look into it, give the findings back to the mayor, and then the mayor can disclose it with the board.
Okay, in the minutes that we approved at the beginning of the meeting, if we look on page 5, there's a paragraph there about additional concerns raised about public dispute and arrest allegations. But anyway, we're talking about some citizens expressed discomfort filing complaints directly at the police department. Suggestion that complaint forms be available through City Hall to avoid intimidation. Discussion of whether complaint transparency should involve the full council. Alderman Lay comments about being an intermediary to the citizens to receive complaints and take to the mayor. And I thought the consensus was that they could use the complaint form that was at the counter in City Hall, or
Correct.
If they want to use this document that you have prepared, and they can bring it to City Hall, or they could give it to an elected official for us to bring to City Hall. Was that not the basics of what we discussed last month?
That is the basics of what you discussed. And that's why we brought that up here to City Hall. And if I'm not mistaken, it is also on the website too, I believe. We had that put on the website so that the citizens can fill that out and bring that up to City Hall. So, you know, we also have that in there as well.
Yeah, okay. So I guess my question to the council members is do we feel like this is adequate where we are now, or do we need to have official action on it, or see how it works out?
The official action would be to pass a resolution stating that this should be at the police station or other places. What's the action you're looking for?
Yeah, I think we've covered all the bases. It's at City Hall, it's on the website, it's at the police station, so wherever they want to get a form, they can fill it out.
But the most important thing is going to be what are we going to do with it when we get one?
Well, that'll be up to decide when I present
But
it.
it goes back to if you do this document, it would go to the chief of police unless he was involved in it, correct?
Correct. May I make a suggestion? I mean, I personally think it should go to the head of the town, which would be the mayor, whoever it is at the
That's right,
time.
whoever the mayor is.
Correct. And then the mayor can look at that and get with the police chief and say, hey, we have a complaint. So that would be the way that I would work that. Currently, you know.
And at some point, report to the alderman.
Yes, and report to the
And I'm
alderman.
assuming we should have a complaint file that we maintain
We do.
at City Hall.
Correct.
That would show if it's a utility complaint or street department complaint or police department, whatever, regardless of the nature of the complaint, that we maintain a log and historical data from that might show you where some things need to be addressed, and some of them may be minor and some of them may be major.
Hey, Dean, y'all had 14 complaints at the last meeting, y'all didn't do nothing about it. Why y'all gonna do something about it? Excuse me, I just,
Dean, what else is there?
On the complaint application?
Yeah, the
Okay.
complaint. we
I don't
do
have
have
anything
one
on, well, I do on the police department. We brought up about Officer Carteron, and I think the chief had said there was going to be more action taken in Marion County, that you were going to go before the grand jury.
I wasn't, the officer was.
Well,
Correct.
the police department was
Correct.
going to go before the grand jury and try to secure an indictment against Mr. Kilgore.
Correct.
And that your investigation was not complete.
Correct.
Now, since our last meeting, then Marion County says they no-billed the 2 charges or 3 or whatever
Right,
it
there was
was.
3 charges.
And so, does that bring an end to that investigation?
I would hope to think so. I've left messages for this attorney to get back with me, so hopefully I'll know some more about that later this week.
Okay.
And I'll let Greg know, and he can let you guys know.
Okay.
if y'all can read, here's all the answers.
Well, I think we need to discuss all of this. I think it goes back not only the complaint that Mr. Kilgore submitted, but there were other citizens that spoke at the previous meetings about the treatment they felt like they had received was not professional, and I guess I should ask, do you have anything in Sergeant Carteron's file that shows any disciplinary actions against him in recent months?
I have none. I've not received any written complaints.
Okay. So would you just give a verbal evaluation of his performance to us at this time?
Yeah, his verbal, sorry. He's not done anything, like I said, is he everyone's cup of tea? Absolutely not. Is he, sometimes he crass? Probably. Very straightforward? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, he's not done anything illegal or immoral in my eyes that I've seen. If he has done that to a citizen, bring it up. Let's investigate it. Other than a current situation that's going on now, if there's more, bring it up to me. Let's sit down. Let's investigate it. Give me something to work with. You know, I got to have something to work with. But as of right now, I've not had any negative. I've got one, sir. I did. But I've not received anything to say otherwise. So, at the end of the day, he, in my opinion, he would not put a citizen of Moore County in harm's way.
Okay, so would you respond to the statement that you, as chief of police, was in command of the incident at the Rodney King's place of business when he was arrested by the sergeant?
If that has to do with the case,
you're wrong. We can discuss anything we want to discuss.
On advice of counsel, we should not discuss anything relative to the
That's the council that has got us in more trouble, that you're paying $400 an hour to. I have the right to ask that question. If he does not want to answer it, you do not have to answer that. But the question is, as chief of police, were you in command of the incident at the plaintiff's business when that incident occurred?
I showed up to see what was going on. I'm the chief of police, so I'm in command all the time. But I'm not the one that made the arrest.
Right.
Correct, but yes, I am the chief of police.
I'm not accusing you.
Correct, I'm, yes, sir.
You was there, Dave.
all right, we're not gonna litigate this thing.
I'm not litigating it. I'm making statements for the record, and I don't think you have the authority.
I do.
No, you do not.
I run the meetings and I decide.
I have the right to state the facts and to make a motion. And so I'll make a motion that based on our personnel policy, at-will employment, that Tennessee is an at-will employment state. Therefore, employees of the town of Monteagle have no rights to continued employment with the town. Employees may be dismissed for cause, for no cause, for any cause, as long as it does not violate state and federal and state law. I make a motion that Sergeant Carteron be dismissed from employment from the town of Monteagle, effective immediately, for his actions previous to and including Rodney Kilgore.
I think your motion is out of order based on that you can't include the present situation and there being no evidence of anything and no complaints being filed.
You're out of order on that.
No, that's fine. I think your motion is out of order. And if need be, I think we should discuss it.
What are you going to do?
See how it votes, but I don't see. No, I don't think there can be a second on a motion that's been ruled out of order.
You're just trying to cover it all up, Mayor.
I'm not covering anything
Yes, you
up.
are. We've been sued for $9 million.
And there's a process and it'll go through the courts.
How much insurance do we have? Do you know how much insurance we have? Do you think the insurance is going to cover if there were to be a $9 million judgment?
Do you think dismissing the officer is going to solve the case?
I think he should be dismissed regardless of what happens to that case.
So there's no need to talk about the $9 million? You want him dismissed?
No, I'm asking what our insurance coverage is.
I don't know offhand.
Well, we should know.
Well, we reported it, we haven't heard back from them. When they make a decision, they'll let us know what's covered and what's not covered.
General liability per person is $300,000.
I think they try canning because
That's not the same, I don't think that's the same liability.
Well, here's the document.
Okay. Anyway, what else is there?
I think the other
Because I
council
think your
members should
motion-
make some response. They can agree with you or not
They
agree
can
with
agree
you.
or disagree. I think your motion is out of order, and I think
Motion is
it's...
on the floor, Mayor, and the reality is we waited for months and months and months for
Yeah,
the judicial system to actually rule on this case, okay? The judicial system has ruled on this case.
What
Now,
if it
you
rules?
can say it's out of order if you like. We're a body that is responsible to the citizens of Monteagle that voted us into this seat, okay? All right, so the judicial system has ruled in favor of the business operator that was arrested wrongly, and the chief is implicated in the same thing. You're the chief, you're right. You're as equally responsible for the arrest as your sergeant was, because you condone it. When you condone something, you agree with it, okay? We're dealing with a situation in Monteagle where an officer is out of control.
that
And
case
I,
is-
for one, am going to vote, and I will second Dean Lay's motion for the expulsion of the employee. And was there more to your,
No, I think later on that there might be other disciplinary actions on other officers.
okay.
Or maybe perhaps.
So anyway, that is the motion, and I'll second the motion.
that has not been adjudicated. Your
What's not
comments
been
on
adjudicated?
this matter of the arrest with Mr. Kilgore.
I made my motion
Certainly
based on
Where?
us being an at-will employer.
No, I'm talking about a lawsuit. Dan was talking about...
No, I'm not talking about the lawsuit. The lawsuit,
It's got
don't worry
nothing to
about the
do with it.
lawsuit. The person was dismissed, the whole thing was thrown out, he's been expunged, and it's over. And we now have the responsibility to act. Now, are we not gonna act?
That's up to your colleagues.
Well,
I disagree.
well, I think we should react.
All right, well, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
It is my understanding that the district attorney has reviewed that arrest and has made comments in that regard. Is that correct?
District attorney has nothing to do with it.
They expunge the record.
Punch the record, that's about as good as you get.
I called the investigator of the district attorney based on a request of one of you, and he said the case was closed, there was no proceedings against the officer
By whom?
by the district attorney's office.
We were talking about, that was in reference to, where the officers are put on a list, what's the name of the list?
Post.
Well, but there's a list, Gigolo or something or other. That officers are put on a list when their testimony is unreliable and they have falsely testified. There's some kind of, and they got the Brady list too, I think. It's got 2 or 3 names.
Been termed as
But
such.
that's what you asked the district, or what you told me you asked the district attorney.
The assistant district attorney inspector or investigator brought that up, that he's not on any list, and that the case was closed, the DA's not taking any further action. I also asked for a written letter, and the DA's office does not issue written letters. The case is closed as far as they're concerned.
And that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So therefore, if he didn't do anything wrong, you just want to fire him to fire him.
We are there's other issues besides that. It's not just one issue. And our policy says, and you have fired other people, you fired the last chief of police, supposedly because you and Chief Raylene met and said he flipped somebody off at the motel out here.
I didn't fire him. We had a meeting, and then he basically resigned and thought that Rayline would be a
And the
good
Chief
successor.
Raylene had filed something with the Post, is what I was told, I have no documentation of that, and that the Post did not take any action on the chief, not you, the previous chief.
You're inaccurate there.
Well, maybe,
never
I'm
talked
just,
to Post.
Ask him why he got fired in Franklin County. He was sending nude
Hey,
pictures.
let's keep this discussion to what are known facts. I mean, I appreciate, Dean, that you heard something about the way Chief Raylon was hired or fired, the previous person and all, but we don't know. Let's not bring that up as factual evidence here. in
Well,
front
the
of-
mayor keeps bringing up about,
Well, hang on, I'm not getting in the middle of y'all's argument, and trust me, I'm just saying we need to keep everything to the facts of what we know, not what we think. And if somebody thinks somebody's a liar, then that's just tough, unless we have proof that somebody's a liar and stuff like that. So let's stick to what we've got.
Did you read the affidavit?
I did read the affidavit, and that the court did not call him a liar.
no, but they dismissed the case.
It doesn't mean he's a liar.
It must not have been truthful testimony because he would have been found over the grand jury.
That's not the way it works. Again, I'm not getting in the middle of your argument. If we need to vote.
He lied
then
because he
let's vote.
wasn't even married.
Just,
That's reason.
I'm bringing it up
that's
under
a
the at-will
different
employment.
court case.
There's a motion on the floor, there's a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Okay, I think we're going to do a roll vote.
Dean,
Yes.
Grant,
No.
Dan,
Yes.
Nate,
No.
Mayor.
No.
Did I say something? I think myself
We had
personally,
time for citizen comments, Mr. Gill.
I'm just gonna comment on this, Mr. Mayor. I think what you should do to get it out of the good old boy system is the mayor and the vice mayor contact the district attorney's office. Ask the district attorney to ask the TBI agent, and they will appoint a TBI agent to do an investigation on your police department. And if a chief is to be investigated, he is not to be investigated by the sheriff in either county. The chief is to be investigated by the TBI. And I'm sure all these files are there. And the district will probably give you a good recommendation on what to do after Mitch has already gone through his court process.
Thank you.
But there's too much good old boy stuff going on here in a blind hog.
I heard it, you know, based on 60 years.
Well, I think all of it will probably come out in depositions and stuff. So,
I'm sure it will.
yeah,
That was my question.
there's a course there, and
So is there anything else you have?
no, sir.
Thank you. Grant?
We've already gone through all the reports we're talking about.
We're on new business.
Please, we're on new business.
So we'll be talking about this under new business later, but I just want to make a comment to close this out. We have a lot of very strong opinions on this matter, but what we don't have as a council is written documentation and a written statement of fact. And Rodney, if you have an issue, I encourage you to fill out a complaint form, which will start the investigative
Now,
process.
you're a joke. At the last meeting, we went through this when the mayor was
So
here. You are a
I would
joke.
encourage you to do that, so that we can begin a process.
Well, before you want to straighten it out.
Once that
Election will be here, and I
process,
spent $100,000 to get rid.
once that investigation is complete, we as a council will have written information. And if that information is deemed insufficient, we can go to further sources and find.
Read this.
But at this point,
investigation.
I
Read
have
this.
read that.
No, you ain't.
At this point-
You're a Fletcher, either one can read.
I read it today, Rodney, and I'll tell you, that
You
is
don't
your
understand
opinion,
that.
that's your filing to the court. That is not the court's decision, that is not true.
You can't let somebody
That
do
is not
something
all
wrong
true.
and still let them work in no company. You're a joke, Grant.
Mr. Kilgore, thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
That's it. We're moving on to new business. We're not going to
You're a
go
joke.
through what Mr. Wilson had to go through last month as vice mayor. We're going to have a distinguished.
He done a good
but
job.
Thank you very much. A lot of people said he did a good job. I hope
Yeah,
I'm doing a
better
good
job
job.
than you.
We're moving on to new business. Thank you.
You should.
Business permits?
Smack the piss out of you.
Business permits?
Ronnie, did you
Are
just
they in the
threaten me?
paper? Excuse me?
Did you just say you knocked the piss out of her?
Yes, he did.
I heard you. Come on.
Let's go.
Come on.
You want to do this?
Well, you just said you were knocking the
No,
piss out of her.
No.
Yes, he did.
We don't take me out. That's why I want you to take me out. You want to go to the feds too?
I'm just
buddy?
asking you to leave.
I ain't leaving. You don't have to. You can't make
It doesn't
me
matter. You just
This
made a
is in
threat to
here.
somebody.
No, this is in here. Go
You
back
just
there
made
and
a
sit
threat
down.
to somebody. Please
Thank
come
you.
and leave. Please come and leave.
You'll apologize to her. I'm okay with it if you are.
I thought, I didn't say nothing to her. I don't never say nothing to woman. I thought it was you.
She's the one.
So now you're admitting
No,
you said it.
I ain't never said nothing to woman.
You just said I'm not
Okay,
piss out of you.
I had this guy to it too. I had this to it too. Okay?
Thank you. All right, that's it. Boys. You leave one here, brother. Yes, sir.
Business permit for the All right, first business permit to be approved. Just
Ma'am, I'm sorry, you was threatened.
Wait.
Excuse me,
Excuse me. That got older, I'm sorry, you was threatened.
Dollar General business permit, you have it in your packet. I'll accept the motion to approve their business permit as submitted.
Move to approve.
Thank you, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Business permit's approved. Next one, Misty Market. You have the application. Is there a motion to accept the application as submitted?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
All of this is subject to certificate of occupancy being issued?
Yes, which we've discussed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. I'll accept the motion for A1 Smoke Shop at the same location as Misty Market for a business permit.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Again,
All those in,
subject
yes. All those in favor say aye.
to... Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Final one is the ordered. Is Katrina here? Come on up. I apologize, I didn't bring my glasses. What is
That's
this?
okay. It's got a little wild in here.
What's the name of
What's
the?
the name of the business?
The Embered Flower.
Okay, and what is it and where will it be?
It will be from my home. I would just be doing like special event flowers, weddings, things like that.
So home office, there won't be
Yes, sir.
any parking, commercial
No, sir.
operation or anything like
Not a
that?
brick and mortar.
I'll accept a motion to accept the business permit.
I'll make a motion to accept our business permit.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on this application?
Quickly, what flower delivery? I assume you're getting flowers from elsewhere, or are you growing them yourself?
I would be getting them elsewhere.
So no delivery issues for that area in terms
No,
of trucks deliver, flower trucks delivering?
No, sir.
Okay,
They usually come FedEx.
okay. perfect.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does he want to be mayor?
He would probably try. I'm surprised he hasn't talked to everybody in here yet.
Good. Okay.
Future mayor.
I'll accept the motion on first reading of ordinance 03-26, site plan checklist. That's in your packet. That's trying to keep track of site plans, approvals, engineering reports, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll make a motion. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nate.
Nate made the motion. Who seconded?
I'll second.
Grant seconded. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the first reading of 03-26? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On first reading, we'll schedule a public hearing. I'll accept the motion to approve the resolution 01-26 for the CDBG grant for water line improvements.
I'll make a motion for 01-26 CDBG grant.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Yes, what's the funding amount and purpose?
We don't know. This is the first step to get the grant. It's a building, a block grant rather, to extend water line where applicable, where appropriate.
The resolution says not to exceed $1 million.
Right.
And we're committed to provide 15% in local matching funds to complete the project.
Yes. So there's a separate authorization to actually take on the grant and the requirement of a match. So this is
This is preliminary in order to qualify.
Yeah.
This is what was explained when Stacy Willoughby came up from Southeast Tennessee Development. I'll accept on first reading, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that resolution carries. First reading of revised personnel policy.
I'll make a motion to accept the first reading of the personnel policy.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, moving on.
Well, I'll second so we can have some discussion. Second.
Been seconded. Is there discussion on the motion?
Yeah, I like the changes that have been made, but I reached out to MTAS after, I guess, 2 workshops ago to think about how to incorporate annual reviews and annual files for performance with all our employees. And I think given the earlier conversation, it's worth putting this off and trying to incorporate that. So John Grubbs with MTAS sent me some language. It's fairly straightforward. It does require annual reviews of all employees and create a permanent record for their performance, and I think it's worth doing. Local issues earlier in this meeting aside, I think it's worth doing, period.
Is it a better course of business?
Yeah, it's a better course of business, so I would suggest that we table this, add in some personnel policy, personnel policy language, and come back to it later.
All right, who made the motion?
Hang on, is this a first or second reading?
First.
First reading.
There would be 2 readings and a public hearing before it was completed.
Yes.
Okay, I will withdraw my motion then.
All right, then Nate has a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on Nate's proposal?
That's to table it,
Yes,
is what the motion is.
so we can get proper MTS information.
I would like to make sure that we have whatever we need to by the next meeting so we can get this going. This has been lingering now for about 3.5 months or so. So
Yeah.
I want to vote, have our first voting on it, our first reading on it by next month.
It's pretty straightforward, so we just need to have a workshop and actually figure out where we want to insert it.
All right, can we make sure we put a workshop together before the 30th so we can get this started?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. And make sure it's on the agenda for next month, please. Okay, tables and chairs for the community center.
Speech time?
Grant, I think you reserve time.
What I said earlier, there are 3 proposals that she's got here. One is for, actually, how many chairs and tables are this? I'm sorry.
There'll be 6 tables, 6 6-foot tables, and 48 chairs.
48 chairs?
Yes.
Okay. So there's 3 quotes here that she's got. The cheapest one is $1,004.88. We'd have to go pick that up. The next one, Amazon, which I assume is a delivery.
Yes, it would be, but you can have it shipped to store on the 1004 and pick it up from store. You wouldn't have to pay shipping cost, where you would on the
Right, we would have to send
Amazon.
somebody down to pick it up.
Right.
Right, okay. And Amazon, this $1,114.88, does that include shipping?
No, it does
Okay.
not.
And then there's a third one for $1,379. So, and I think they're all pretty well similar.
Yes, they are.
I don't think there's any difference in the quality or quantity or quantity of the chair. So, makes sense in this case to go with the lowest cost.
All the tables are commercial grade, and all the chairs are foldables or stackable.
Question, the chairs are cushioned?
Yes.
So they're not the folding kind, they're the stackable kind?
Well, they can be,
They are
they're cushioned, but they're foldable.
They can be folded too. And you said 6-foot tables? As opposed to 8-foot? 6-foot is better?
Well, we've got 1 or 2 tables over there now we can use,
Fine.
so,
Well, thank you for your work on this because it's been long talked about. The biggest issue, of course, will be storage. And I think when we have our workshop next door, we can address all these features.
right.
Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion that we allocate the money of $1,004.88 to the purchase of these items.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Debbie, real quick, do we have, isn't there some money in where? Is that enough? We have enough to cover that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's already budgeted? Good.
Will that keep them from doing anything that they're scheduled or wanting to do with their dollars?
They have $4,000 left.
Okay, thank you.
I'll accept the
And we're
motion.
using it.
I'll accept the motion on resolution 2-26, which we've discussed, correcting our indebtedness ordinance to comply with the recent state law.
I move to approve resolution number 02-26.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion?
Just, you might want to, did we have a public hearing on this, or we've had several workshops? Some public, members of the public were brought to this. We looked at several different bond opportunities for some major sewer work, or major sewer and water, I guess, work. And what we're proposing here is what we all kind of agreed would be the best route forward, depending on the vote tonight. But that's where this is coming from. Just want everybody to understand.
Well, where it's coming from, with all due respect, is state legislature passed new laws about indebtedness for towns. This clears up and brings us current to the state legislature. So if there,
I would like to amend my resolution, or my motion.
which motion, for this one?
Yeah,
Should it be what?
I would like to, let's see, I move to approve resolution number 02-26 with a minor revision. In paragraph 1, replace the city of Clarksville, Tennessee with the town of Monteagle, Tennessee.
That is,
Good idea.
no, it's not. That is the bank that we're using. They're coming from Clarksville. I called her and asked her about that. She said that that's where the bank comes from, and Clarksville had to get in there.
I thought we were using Tri-County.
It is Tri-County, but
That's their home office.
That's their home office.
Okay.
I did call and ask about that because I saw that.
Okay, great. Back to the original. I move to approve resolution number 02-26 as written.
Thank you. Is there a second?
It's already been seconded.
I'll second it to second.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion?
Yes, sir. This is for up to $1,500,000, not to exceed $1,500,000.
That's the loan agreement on the next resolution. This one, I believe, just brings our policies current with the state law that was just
Right,
passed.
but we're gonna deal with that in a minute, and my question would be, well, I can wait till the next one.
Yeah, no, this
Yeah,
is
'cause this is-
just for the state law. This
Yeah.
isn't amounts.
Okay, well,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now, I'd accept a motion for resolution 03-26, the loan agreement for the bond. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution 03-26 loan agreement.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Yes, as far as I know, Dean, we're only going after a bond for $1.5 million.
okay, and then my question is, the repayment of that, is that factored in our current rate study that we done last year, where we're gonna have, this July, we're gonna have a rate increase that we approved, last year?
I think last year, yeah.
And then we have talked about whether or not the repayment on that would be, funds would be sufficient out of the last rate study to cover the payment of this.
Yes, they're working on a revised rate study which will incorporate this, and it'll remove the third water tower tank that lets us reconfigure the capital improvement plan. So yes, there will be enough for time we get started, will probably be in July.
So there will not have to be a rate increase
Between now and
for this
July?
for this specific project.
Correct. This much
Correct,
debt
correct.
was baked into the last
It was
rate
baked
study.
in, exactly.
Yes, and I think for the customer's benefit, that needs to be stated and made a part of the record.
Okay. Let me explain what's going on. There's a lot of work that TDEC requires us to do. Some of it is not pending, some of it is ongoing violations, which is called a consent order. Our town engineer's been working on a consent order for close to a year. He's got another year to go. TDEC wants quarterly reports. So we say, well, what caused this problem? because the problem is sludge removal from the sewer plant. That's why we're trying to talk about grease traps, we're trying to talk about fats, oil, and grease in getting to our plant. That's why we're talking about I&I, which is inflow and infiltration. So to do all of that to help the sewer plant increase its capacity, we are going to remove the sludge ourselves. When you do the arithmetic, what they charge, what an outside contractor charges to remove sludge and all of that is going to pay itself probably back within 10 years or less. We started off having sludge removal by a contractor once a year. When I became involved and spoke to the engineers more and more, last year we raised it to 2 times a year. His recommendation now, based on the hotels coming online, et cetera, and the growth that we're seeing and foreseeing, we'll be needing it 3 to 4 times a year. That's when this machine would pay for itself. The bond is the fastest way to get the money. We're still waiting for funding approval from the state revolving fund from 2025 applications. So we can't wait another year for the state revolving fund to act. That's why we're going to the method of bond financing. So we've had several interviews with the bond broker through the Tennessee Municipal League. It's to improve water and sewer only. This bond is only used for the enterprise fund, and the enterprise fund is only for water and sewer. It can't be mixed with the general fund, and as they say, never the twain shall meet. So it's just one of those things that we have to do to stay current with TDEC violations. Otherwise, the NOVs, notice of violations, and consent orders will unfortunately continue. So we have to, as they say, fix the problem. And that's what all this conversation is about, is bond financing for sludge removal process, as well as other work that's needed in the water plant. So it's big numbers, but everything in water and sewer nowadays is big numbers. When you read the Messenger, you see what Swanee is going through with I&I. You see that Big Creek is expanding and Tracy City is expanding, et cetera, et cetera. So there's growth on the mountain, and we just have to keep up with it, or we're going to have serious problems with the state. So, having said all that, has it been moved and seconded? All right. So, resolution 03-26, is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to point out that we hope and believe that we are not going to take on $1.5 million worth of debt. We are at this point dealing with an opinion of probable cause that has all sorts of fluff built into it. So the way this loan works, this is a 5-year adjustable rate loan where we only draw what we need and we only pay interest on what we need. So we had 3 different debt options that we looked at as a town. And this is the one that gives us the maximum flexibility. The opinion of probable cost on this project, the sludge removal project that the mayor talked about, I think the low end was 550, with the upper end being just above $1 million. So what we are doing at this point is simply doing an authorization. We are not incurring debt. We are giving ourselves the ability to do that. We will come back in public forum and talk about this project at length once we know those details, and try to keep the community informed as to what actions we're going to finally take. But this is just a preliminary step.
Thank you. The next step is, sooner or later, this whole process will have to be advertised, put out to sealed bid, sealed openings, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a process. Thank you, Nate. This is step 1.
Mayor?
Yes.
We've already said that the rates should take care of the indebtedness, but for the ratepayers to know, if it does not, the city has the option to raise rates to pay it, or it's in the contract that there would be a tax levy. There shall be levied and collected in the same manner as other ad valorem taxes of the municipality on all taxable property within the corporate limits of the municipality, without limitation as to time, rate, or amount to the extent necessary. So they're protecting themselves that they're going to get their money, whether it's through the rating, existing rates, or revenues from water and sewer, or if the city and the other loans and stuff say the same thing. This is nothing new. They all say that.
We've had bonds before for the city.
So just for the ratepayers and the citizens' information, it has to be paid back one way or the other.
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion? Any roll call? Roll call vote, please.
Dean,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we did the Monteagle Tree Advisory Council, that's been approved. We have a task order from our engineer, which you have in your packet, which we had requested. This deals with the future of perhaps impact fees for developers. It seems that many towns are doing this, many municipalities and cities are doing this, and it's a way to recoup the impact on water and sewer plants as we grow. So this is something I said, well, do the developers know this? And everyone said, oh yeah, they do it everywhere. So Monteagle is kind of catching up. So I'll accept the motion to approve the task order that was submitted.
I move to approve the task order as submitted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion
Yes, sir. What is the amount of this?
that's in your task order there?
I know I'm talking, but the public might want to know.
It's not to exceed $55,250.
So we're going to spend $55,250 for our engineers to do a study. And some of the stuff they do is capital improvement project. It says development of recommendations for future projects, immediate 5-year, short-term 10-year, long-term 15-year, horizon 20-year. Do we know if this is in line and is a reasonable amount, or is this just a number we're going to approve without any background of knowing? Is this so many hours billable at so much money, or I mean, it seems like
It's not, this is not to exceed, as I understand it. I think that the rates are in line, as they've been in line with everything else, and I believe that it can be capitalized to the future work that we do. I checked that point this morning, so I think all is in line, that we move forward with it since we requested it and discussed it several times at a workshop.
yeah, but we never discussed $55,250.
I think we had some ballpark figures, but I don't recall.
Well, I recall, and there was no mention.
Okay, well, that's the proposal from the task force.
Right, I understand that.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
just to clarify for folks listening or folks in the audience, what this task order does is it enables our engineering firm to forecast growth and forecast anticipated costs to the water and sewer systems specifically, so not to the whole general budget, just looking at water and sewer. And it projects those, as Dean said, on a 5, 10, 15, and 20-year basis. And with that data, it then gives us the option to assess an impact fee on new developments. And what an impact fee does is it looks at those developments that are going to be needed. So if we add 200 hotel rooms, that has impacts to both our water and our sewer capacity. And so by having this study, it allows us to say, we'd love for you to have and come in and do your 200 hotel development, and the cost to our system over the long term are going to be X, and we would like you to pay a percentage of that up front. Because the alternative is, and what we are doing now, and what the prior, at least partially, that prior competitiveness authorization was about, is about growth, and us having to pay for that growth and having to shoulder, as Dean rightly brought up, right now, the only way to get those costs back are to spread it out among all the ratepayers. But an impact fee gives us the alternative to help us capitalize and get some of those expenses up front, which is going to be important to keep our rates down for most of the residences. So I would love to not pay $55,000 for it, but I feel like that's fairly reasonable, considering the product it's going to get us.
And don't misunderstand, this is not a one-page report. There's developments of a master plan document, an impact fee structure, existing and future, and his task force goes on with the 5, 10, 15, 20 year, because we don't want to go back and do this every whatever. It may be needed to be reviewed, but we have to start somewhere, and we're starting with population growth. Nate had a map that was marked up as to where we anticipated future expansion. but the engineer has to analyze, take a look at the various aspects of engineering of that and seeing what kind of impact that has. So it's not $55,000 for a 2-page report. This is going to be extensive and take some time to research.
And the tank is a pretty easy example of that. So our capital improvement plan says that within 6 years, we're going to need another water tank. And that's because of additional demand on our water system. Well, if we have an impact fee study that allows us to justify that impact cost can take portions of that tank. We're not asking developers to pay for everything, but take portions of that tank and allocate it to the new development that's going to create that additional demand on our system. It makes sense.
But it's misleading when you say the developer. We're talking about any customer from that date on. A residential customer would have a 1-unit impact fee. Would that not be correct?
We are not far enough along to know how it could be implemented, but that's how it's implemented in some
That's
towns.
how it was presented to us in the workshop. So for the residents of Monteagle, if you want to build a house or on the water system and sewer system, if you have 1 water tap, 1 sewer tap, and if the impact fee is, say, $2,500 each, you would pay the tap fee, which currently is for water is what, $1,700, Debbie? Or?
Yes.
And then you would pay that $2,500 impact fee. If you were a motel and you were building 100 units, then you would pay 100 times the $2,500. But everyone is going to pay this. So don't think that just the corporate coming into Monteagle is going to be the ones paying this. That's not the case, the way it was presented to us by the engineer. Now, we may have the authority to change that, I don't know. But the way the engineer presented it, he used the individual water customer, sewer customer taps as an example.
Yeah, and I think that's important to do. It's also important to draw a distinction. We're not passing any impact fees. We're authorizing, or perhaps going to authorize the expense to understand what it would mean. But the thing that has prompted this discussion and brought it up is because, without going into too much detail, the state requires us not only to maintain our system, our water and sewer system, but also maintain enough cash on hand to be able to depreciate and replace all the systems, all the things that we are doing. And we are in a growth phase right now. And so the expenses that we are doing on water and sewer not only are expenses themselves, but for the next 20 years, we also have to set aside cash to replace those assets that we put in. By state law, there's nothing we can do about that. And so in order to keep that from all falling on the ratepayers, we have to think about new strategies to be able to deal with that depreciation.
Okay. Again, the only thing we're voting on tonight is to give the engineer permission to move forward. When we get ready to look at impact fees, that'll be a whole separate policy, and we can exclude residential people if we need to, or however it falls out with the data. So I don't want, Dean brings up a good point, but I don't want to scare everybody to say everybody's going to get an impact fee if you're a resident. That's not necessarily true right now.
This is step 1 of a process to analyze what we should do for the future. So is there any further discussion on the motion?
Yes, roll call vote.
Roll call.
Daniel?
No.
Grant?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Nate?
Yes.
Yes. All right, that adoption of debt policy. You have the adoption of the debt policy that is also required, that was sent to us by the consultants. I'll accept the motion to accept our new debt policy to comply with the state.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
So, Mayor, I think this is the one that this is our policy. So this is the one that when we were working on the first one, that had City of Clarksville, that had to do with the actual ability to incur debt. This is debt policy, which just changes a definition as to
I apologize,
with
my
state law.
mistake.
No worries, but
Well,
that's why I got confused about Clarksville.
Okay, so adoption of the debt policy, is there a motion to accept?
I made that motion already.
Is there a second? Who? Okay, roll call? Roll call vote?
Dean?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Nate?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. Okay, that concludes our business on the agenda. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I make such motion.
Is there a second?
What if there's no second? We have to stay here all
Well, I'll
night?
adjourn it by the purpose. Meeting adjourned.
Second.